So this exhibition is the result of a unique partnership between Castlefield Gallery, Venture Arts and the Roberts Institute of the Arts. We came together and invited 3 artists who are living and working in the north of England: Gregory Herbert, Malik, Jama and Jocelyn McGregor. And they were invited to make some new work for the exhibition, but along the way to making that work, they were invited to spend some time together in different outdoor spaces, from Hume Community Garden Centre down the road to Stonehenge in Salisbury. And as well as spending time in these outdoor spaces, they also spent time with the David and Indrė Roberts collection, which is managed by the Roberts Institute of the Arts. And whilst the artists made new work, they had conversations about our entangled relationship to nature. And we also selected 5 pieces from the David and Indrė Roberts collection. So we've got Wolfgang Tillmans, Magdalena Abakanowicz, Noemie Goudal, Pierre Huyghe and Kossoff. And bringing those 5 works together with the new work made by Joss, Greg and Malik is really an opportunity to continue the conversations that they had along the way.
Wishing Well started out as kind of like research notes really, and I was really interested in an ancient oak tree that is in Liverpool and has these kind of large scaffolding like supports holding up its kind of, well, the branches look kind of exhausted, and I was really interested in thinking about this, and kind of a couple of times I visited it and kind of had conversations with, there was like a friends of group that were kind of tidying around the area. And they were kind of talking about the conservation of the tree, and I became really interested in this kind of entanglement of kind of conservation and nostalgia and what it meant to kind of keep this tree up. And I guess when me, Malik and Joss visited the collection, we went on a trip to Stonehenge and kind of were having these similar conversations around kind of land ownership, commons, and kind of ideas around conservation as well, and what's the kind of, how we could rethink those ideas, and how we're kind of like stuck in this kind of nostalgic idea of kind of preserving these sites. So it was kind of, yeah, it came out of these kind of discussions, I guess, and then we went on a trip to the Wishing Well, which was in Alderley Edge, and it felt like this kind of site for our collective kind of wishing, but also kind of what are we wishing for? I think art's role in readdressing our relationship to nature is about questioning the systems that are currently in place and the systems that have kind of previously been in place as well, and allowing that room and space to kind of rethink some of these relationships we have with our environment and I guess different kind of ecological systems.
So this is Cast Window. It's what I'm calling a performance sculpture. So it's a sculpture activated by 3 performers. So it's a sort of diorama or a miniature landscape. But I like the idea of it sort of dipped in and out of the miniature and the giant, that actually around the edges is these sort of huge rocks, but then you kind of zone into kind of the miniature world in the middle. And the performers activate it by essentially kind of dribbling, endlessly dribbling and activating the tributaries going down into this sort of Wishing Well type trough at the bottom. And then it gets recycled over and over and over. Quite often the diorama is used almost like humans take the sort of godlike form and they're creating this miniature world that they're in control of. And I think I wanted to flip that on its head a little and have it so that actually the people are sort of locked into this cycle in which the water, essentially they're recycling or they're filtering it through themselves. So anything that they're putting into the system is coming right sort of back through their bodies in many ways. So it's having this sort of benign, malign, like actually who is in control, or are they kind of locked in this loop? For me, art is always, I feel like it's probably our oldest form of communication. I feel like for me, it's the way that like art can tell you about societies from like 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, and you learn more about maybe the culture or what the fears or the preoccupations were like across cultures, across ages. So we are creating this snapshot of the time that we're living in of which obviously climate change is a major part of that, and we are in a weird defining moment. So artists, their fears and anxieties and the questions that they have are just going to reflect what society is talking about in general.
On the handmade, me made in jar with Jocelyn and on the wall to that computer.
And there's some projections downstairs, isn't there?
Yeah.
And could you tell us about how you made them here, didn't you, the projections?
Yeah. On laptop and had the hand.
When people come and see this exhibition, what do you hope, what do you wish that they might think about the exhibition?
Liked it, loved it, what made them.
Venture Arts is a supported studio, which means that we're a studio that works predominantly with neurodivergent and learning disabled artists who make incredible work. So we have a long relationship with Castlefield Gallery. It's been really pivotal actually in the progression of us as an organisation and in supporting learning disabled artists to be really part of the Manchester artist community. The whole idea of sort of collaboration between artists and about sort of artists being inspired by each other, about sort of open dialogue and the conversations that artists can have between each other is where this starts, but particularly looking at perhaps this theme, which is kind of loosely, it's about nature, but also sort of has strong links to the environment and to really sort of helping us to think about themes within the environment. But as you can see, it's really about nature.
We are a non-profit contemporary arts organisation based in London, and we commission performance art, we run an artist residency programme in Scotland, and we manage the David and Indrė Roberts collection, which is a private art collection of close to 2,500 contemporary artworks by over 900 artists. An important part of our mission and what we do is to share the collection with audiences across the UK and beyond. And we do this through exhibition collaborations with National Museum and Gallery partners, through our international lending programme, and by opening up the collection to research. Given how diverse the collection is, there are so many ways of interpreting the artworks it features, and we want it to be a kind of resource or a library or a kind of point of inspiration for people from different backgrounds and within different contexts. So this project was an ideal opportunity to commission artists to respond to the collection and create new works that can have a kind of conversation with particular artworks from the collection. A starting point for working with the three artists commissioned as part of this project was embracing a sense of uncertainty and not knowing. So thinking about like what might we discover if we approach our environment and the materials around us from a position of not knowing. So there's an opportunity here in the idea of getting lost, which is reflected in the title of the exhibition. So letting go of fixed ideas, which can change how we respond to one another and then how we in turn are shaped by the world around us. And a conversation and collaboration have also been really key, a central part of the process of working on this. And I would hope that the exhibition will in turn spark curiosity and discussion amongst visitors. And on another level, I hope the exhibition is a chance for visitors to engage with some brilliant artworks by both local and international artists across different generations.